Don't let them in my soul. Don't let them in my soul. Don't let
As you can see on the screen, it's your boy Rhodes. I'm back. I've been on hiatus. I'm sorry. I feel like homeboy. I feel like the author of Hunter x Hunter disappeared. I came back out of nowhere. Been working. My headphones broke. So if you guys are having a hard time, please comment down below. Let me know. I'll figure something out so you get better quality audio quality. But and I also been working on other games. Pokemon Unite just came out. Been kind of grinding on that. Really enjoy that. Let me know if you guys want to see me start streaming. What is it? That game. Been playing a lot of Wild Rift, especially with Senna. It was a learning curve for me. I had at first, I thought it was gonna be the exception and be like, well, let me play Senna ADC. Do not do that, guys. Unless you have support like Galileo, Leonis, somebody that could clear lanes very easily. Don't do it, cause you're just gonna piss off your team. And I had many team members say to me like, "Yo, uninstall." You know what I mean? When League of Legends always been a toxic game, but it's competitive, and not part of any competitive sport is you're gonna get people that are toxic. Which is part of why I love this game. But in this gameplay, I was laning with a Lucian, against I believe it was it Ezreal and Janna. One thing I realized is Lucian is not very good as an ADC. Way better as a mid laner. Some ADCs I seen that were really good with Senna was like Ezreal, Jinx, uh, Jin. I did a lot with what's his name, Varus. Varus is very good at. I don't know, maybe it's because his range, but it just worked well for me. So I also got the new skin. I had to definitely get her skin because as you can see, she looked dope as hell. So one thing you have to learn with Senna is souls are very important with her. Souls are like the number one thing with Senna, and it's really dope because me personally, sometimes I don't even build items right away. I just keep trying to collect souls, and as you get, and every 20 souls, her range and damage increase or healing. So pay attention to this game. I did a little bit better than what I usually do in most games, but one thing I also love about Senna, she is like a backup ADC. So because I play a lot of ADC, I played a lot of Zaya, and one thing about playing being like ADC sometimes is you can't really guarantee you're gonna have a good sub, and a sub's very important if you're gonna be laning. You know what I mean? A sub, they have to be able to take the pressure off of you. And one thing about Senna is if the ADC is not doing what he has to do, well, you could kind of clean up for him. So right here was a great transition at the beginning. What I try to do is I always try to, ward a little bit deep into the jungle, help my jungler out. But for some reason, Janna wasn't moving. She was AFK for a little bit, so I was able to get a couple souls off her, and help Lucian kind of push his lane and harass his Ezreal. Uh, One matchup that I know definitely that for me works out is anytime I play against the Senna, pick up Malphite. At the beginning of the game, it's gonna be tough because Senna has the range, but once he gets his ult, there's really little she could do against like characters like what is it, Leona, Akali. What is characters that could just instantly jump on you? It makes it very hard for Senna to get away unless she has the souls. And you're gonna see in this game where there's certain characters that jump right on me, but because of the fact that I have so many souls, it makes it tougher for him, especially once you got your second ability. I mean, c'est la vie. So at the beginning of this game, I don't know. I guess the Lucian went to go help jungle. That's fine. But most of the time, I try not to just take the minions. But at this point, why not? Instead, letting them go to waste. But that's also the reason why Senna ADC does not work out, because the fact is, it makes it very hard for you to keep collecting souls after if you're the one taking all the minions. Fastest Senna is a good way of being able to build. Fastest Senna, for those of you that don't know, is when a Senna is ADC, but you let your support the whole time clear all the minions. Because so for example, Galileo's really good with that stuff like that. You know what I mean? And what you want to try to focus on is you want to be able to collect as many souls you can, poke and harass as much as you can, because the more you poke and harass, and what is it? The more souls you get, every time you hit a opponent with 2 times, or at least you pop off 2 abilities, you collect a soul. So what I try to do is I try to go up a little bit in lane when they think they're gonna come in. You're gonna see in this bush a lot of the time I go into that bush, I'll do it and I'll keep hitting them. And I'll take the damage as long as it's not causing my ADC any dismay. And right there, boom. Lucian was able to take out the sub, which is Janna. Janna is very annoying. I know LOL on PC. She could be very, very hard to play against, because in fact, not only does she heal, but she has a lot of peel. So we was able to get the Ezreal to back, which is really good. The range on Senna is ridiculous. So it makes it a lot easier to poke with. But the problem is, I feel bad when I do this, but sometimes it's hard for me not to take the kill, because my range is either, you let him escape, or you go for the kill. And, I mean, I'm sorry for my ADC's ego, but I'm going to go for the kill if I can. But you want to try your best to try to feed your ADC as much as you can. So we was able to catch the Mundo in a good spot, and this is an example for why Senna is so beautiful. Right there, I was not only able to save Lucian from being last hit and killed, but also I was able to stun Mundo long enough for the rest of my teammates to keep hitting them and keep hitting them. And the whole time I'm hitting them, I'm collecting souls. So at this point, 5 minutes into the game, I got 24 souls. I need just one more soul, and I'm automatically I get my increased range. Throughout, I'm sorry guys, but throughout the game you're gonna notice I'm horrible with my ult. From long range, I cannot hit my ult. For some when I hold it, and then the last minute when I release it, my finger just twitches and throws it off to the side completely. So maybe it's just my phone, or it's me. But I have a suggestion: if you have a hard time aiming your ult, try to use it at close range when you're stunning, or if you're using it to gain vision. You'll see, I like to use my ult to try to gain vision from across the map, because it makes it easier than having to travel all the way over there if you don't have any vision. So right here we get jumped on, and luckily I was able to stun them, because if I wasn't able to stun them, they would have already probably already killed me. But when they've been able to push the lane even more to take Lucian out under tower. Those of you that never played Senna before, you don't want to ever hit the cannon minion unless you necessarily have to, because a cannon minion, if hit by other people, always guarantee a soul 100%. You always get a soul from a cannon minion, but that's only if you don't last hit it. That if it's either killed by a turret or somebody else. And this is beautiful gank by Vi. Came in at the right time, put the pressure on him, and we was able to get the kill and force Ezreal back again. One matchup I noticed that I'm horrible against is Ezreal Lux, because the fact is Lux's stun is just so crazy, and if you have Ezreal, they jump on you they jump out automatically. So when you play against Lux, try to be a little bit cautious. Use your minions in order to increase your range and try to poke them as much as you can, because the more souls you get, the easier it is for you to actually contend. And you know, Senna, I like to say she's like a combat slash healing. So because of the fact is, not only can she heal herself and allies, but she also too could provide very valuable damage and get hits in that other players might not be able to get when enemy flashes are running away with her range. And that's very vital when in a team fight, or if you're trying to guarantee you're getting what is it, the minions. Either you're getting a Baron, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So right here, we absolutely destroyed these two, and right now I'm 3-0. Uh, One thing a lot of people fuck up is where you start getting all right, this is a little story time. So I think probably 5 games before this, I was playing with Senna, and I was doing absolutely fantastic. We was winning our lane at the beginning. Uh, we was able to take their tower, but where we messed up was we started roaming to other lanes and not actually pushing our tower even more. So it came to a point where not only did their ADC get fed and stuff, but then it got to a point where we had no towers. They still had their towers up. They still had their 2 towers remaining. We didn't focus on the rest of their towers. And even though were up in the game, it was like we was like 30-15. But because of the fact is they decided to prioritize taking towers, it made it a lot harder for us to clear lanes, because super minions are super hard to clear, and especially when you're fighting your team fighting very close to your base, they deal damage you once you aggro, once you you know try to hit an enemy champion, and that all adds up little by little. You know what I mean? So be very mindful of that. Always try to push your lane, and especially if you see a mid struggling, help mid, but also try to prioritize taking other towers to it. And if you could do it as a team, that's even better. And in that game, I was doing great. My ADC wasn't doing so great, but it wasn't really his fault. And we couldn't get it together as a team. So if you guys would see, I actually went down in my elo. I was Emerald, I believe, 1. Yeah, I was Emerald 1. I went all the way down to Gold 4 when I started, what is it? Once, like, the patch came out, and I was thinking I could still play Xayah the same way, that maybe I could use Senna as an ADC, everything started falling apart. And, you have to understand, in this game, you have to understand metas, the patches, and if you want to still play the same character, you can. But you might have to change up your style, builds, because it does take a big toll, and especially in Wild Rift itself, a lot of people are very new to the game. So yeah, they might be a little bit of a high elo at some point, but they still don't understand in the same aspects as players that played on PC, how certain mechanics work, how the macro and macro works, stuff like that. So right there, I got killed. I got cocky, got too deep in the enemy jungle, and they trapped me. That is something that will majority of the time happen to you if you play with characters like subs, or characters that don't have potential to really get away or deal a lot of damage. So do not, and I repeat, do not venture into the enemy camp by yourself, or because you will get eviscerated. Using big words today, I know. one thing I'm wondering about Wild Rift is if they're ever gonna add chromas. If you guys don't know what chromas are in LOL PC, chromas are actually, you could buy a skin, and you know, like this skin I have as Senna right now, I believe is a true damage skin. Well, you would be able to get it in different colors, so the color scheme would change where be blue and gold or something like that, or purple and silver. And yeah, you know, even though you worry about the skin, it costs a little bit more money for the chromas, but they're definitely worth it. I always loved them. I remember in PC, I spent way too much money on just chromas alone because I always loved them, especially on Kled. And hey, Riot, if you're listening to this, please add Kled to this game, because I would go crazy top. I love Kled. Kled is one of the most unique top champs that I ever played, and he makes it very enjoyable. His voice lines are crazy. The mechanics with him and Scar was like amazing, and I always enjoyed. Like, I never liked playing top, but on PC, if I got Kled, it was all over with. And the thing about Kled is no one really picks him. I do not understand. I understand why, because you know there's other tanks that are better, but Kled in general, I just love how they built him, and I feel like if they added him to this game, it would be very interesting to see how they would work on his mobility, because Kled has a lot of mobility, especially when especially his ultimate, which basically gives you a speed boost, and then what it does is once you make contact with the enemy champion, it deals more damage depending on the time it took to get to them, but it does the physical and I believe magic damage. And then it takes your whole team with you. So for example, like if you use it the wrong way, like I did a lot, you force your team to kind of like speed behind you and just run into the enemy team and get eviscerated, which we don't want to do. And, ooh. Ezreal. That Ezreal did me dirty, man. That Ezreal did me so dirty. And right here, as you can see, my Lucian is 8-4. I am 4-3. And guys, I don't want you to feel like you're not a good support if you don't have kills. You don't have to get killed. I had a dumbass tell me that was I believe yeah, he was a top player. He was Garen, and he kept saying, well, our sub doesn't have any kills. Our sub doesn't have any kills. I had 13 assists, but he's focusing on the fact that I died 4 times. So he kept putting 0 and 4, and I'm looking at him like, bro, you have the same stats as me. The only you probably got two more kills than me. But other than that, I'm doing the job I'm supposed to do. What are you doing? So be mindful. Don't let other people discourage you. When people, especially in games like this, people are having a bad game, they like to focus on blaming others. And the best thing I suggest to do is just ignore them. And boom, that was amazing. We was able to take down that Mundo, and not only that, but we was also able to take down, I believe it was Aurelia. And it's only 16 minutes into the game, and I have 82 souls. Listen, I need my souls, and I need it now. That's how I'm feeling about this game. And I missed I missed my second ability. That was trash. But what I decided to do is, what I try to do is I always try to punish. If you're gonna chase me, I'm at least gonna pop off a couple of hits on you, to a point where you might run away, and then I'll try to get even more hits. You know. And look at this. This team is just falling apart. This team is falling apart like some chicken cooked so good that it just fall right off the bone. That's how I'm feeling about this team right now. Just falling right off the bone. Right off the gristle. Woo! And that's one thing I didn't mention. The Q does damage to towers. And I believe if you're playing against like a Yasuo or some, something like that, actually could shoot through his shield, through his wind barrier. So that's a unique thing with Senna. Because most characters, the abilities do nothing at all to, what is it, the towers. So that's a little thing where you could heal your teammate, and you could also hit the tower at the same time. So you're knocking out two birds with one stone. And always abuse your second ability, because the second ability actually makes it so much better, because it's like a disease. Once it hits one enemy champ, it spreads to the others. And look at that range. That is ridiculous. 6'3" and 11 right now. And the range is ridiculous because I don't even have to go on the front line. I have a habit of doing that. But you could honestly sit back and just poke, 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 and poke some more. So I usually don't suggest, taking Baron when you only got like 3 players. But because we're doing so well right now, I'm not even worried about them. And I got my second ability. One thing I like to do is when we're going for like a Baron, I will come off the Baron and I'll stick them the second ability when they're trying to group up. So then it gives my team a little bit of time to react if we have to abandon it, or if we just wanna if we just need a little bit more time in order to take it. Ooh. Look at those souls. Like, I felt so greedy right there because I was like a kid in a candy store. I'm at 100 souls right now. It's only been like 3 minutes only passed since I last checked how many souls I got, and now I'm at 113. This is why souls are so important. Look at how much of a beast Senna is once she got those. Like, at this point, do I even need the rest of my team? I do, but still. At this point, I'm feeling very confident. And boom, another one. DJ Khaled, if you want to sponsor me, I'll say that every video. Another one. And guys, as a sub, especially playing Senna, this is how you should play. You want to be, not only do you want to be able to help your teammates out and relieve pressure in the lane, but you also want to be a threat yourself in a sense, where there's no way they're going to escape, you know what I mean? Look at that. He thought he was going to get away. And usually Mundo, he is fed. But in this game, he didn't get that chance because, especially if you're up against a melee support champ or just a melee champ in general, Senna has an advantage because most don't know that most don't even know that as long as she hits you 2 times or she hits you with two abilities, that you're getting that she's building souls up. So a lot of them just try to chase her, and you could literally sit there and kite, and then not realize they're just feeding the beast, and they're just gonna continue to feed that beast. And that's how it's done, baby. That is how it's done. Like, comment down below, share, and I'll see you in my next video. See you later, Rhodians. Nigga, if you ain't talking that bread, I don't even want to fucking hear it no more. On some real shit.
Don't let them in my soul. Don't let them in my soul.